DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast. Ryan Davey. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Ray Von Day. All hail, the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I am flying, Rich. I'm having a day. A great day. It's a great day. It's a happy day.
It is. It is.
I finally beat Black Myth Wukong.
Oh,
After hours and hours and hours and hours of boss fights. I finally beat it about a half hour ago.
there you go.
And I would put it on par. It's like God of War level good.
Wow.
Are you interested? And
That's
it's
not
like,
praise.
do you ever like do a boss fight and you feel like your heart's starting to beat out of your chest? Like I was having those moments at the very end.
Mhm.
So, and like in true fashion, like I was like down to like my last hit and like I beat the last boss, like my last hit after doing it for like 30 times. I finally did.
Not a lot of feelings really like that.
No. What a good feeling though, huh?
What a great feeling. What a
Feeling.
blast that
How
is.
are you?
I'm great. Glad you asked.
Yeah.
Doing very well. Appreciate that. And I thought I was going to have the better of the t-shirts. Now, again, this is for those that are watching on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/dork podcast. I'm wearing a classic shirt I got a couple weeks ago. Just Super Mario. And it says, since 85, Super Mario. And just a fucking hat on. He's having a nice time. It's a good shirt. Then I see Davey pull in with a yellow shirt with black lettering on the front.
Much like my fart shirt.
Yes. Yeah. Is it the same place? You get that at the same place?
No, I did not. But the shirt says, and you can read it to the people.
Davy's shirt says, ska and pro wrestling are the only legitimate forms of art.
Which,
amazing.
argue.
Yes.
Show me the lie, babe.
Nope. I love it. I love both very much. I love the two together. They belong together as well. Ska. Yeah. People still want the ska episode. At some point, we're going to do a whole episode on ska. I watched that ska documentary on Tubi. Real good.
There's a ska documentary on Tubi?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think it might have been a pick of the pot I had a while ago.
Oh, that's that Pick It Up? Is that what it's called?
Might be. It came out a few years ago, and it's now free on Tubi, and it's they got a bunch of the dudes like that you'd want to hear from in it. You know, Real Big Fish, Aquabats, Goldfinger, but then older ones too, like ones that I wasn't super into or didn't really know about, but I will now go back and celebrate their entire catalog. Oh, Pick It Up. Yep. Yeah, Josh. Yeah, Josh in the chat's all over this. He's
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
He's one of the guys telling us to do the ska episode.
Yeah.
We could. It's possible.
We could do it.
We could do it for sure. Ryan, we do have a bit of sad news though to
man.
start.
This week in DORK. Yeah.
We lost a legend. I don't toss that word around too much, but a true legend passed away today as we were recording this. James Earl Jones, at the age of 93, without a doubt, one of the great voices of all time.
All time.
Mufasa, Darth Vader, many others. Also, great actor. Like he's in a bunch of movies as well, but it's the voice that really stood out. What an incredible presence he was. He will be missed. I don't know if there's nobody out there right now with a voice like James Earl Jones, but 93, which is a good run, but sadly we lost a legend today.
We did. And if you looked at X or Twitter today, Mark Hamill wrote "Rest in peace, Dad."
Dad. No, it's his father.
Which was great. Which is great. And again, an important figure in two of probably the best baseball movies of all time too, that being Field of Dreams and The Sandlot. Not a lot of people give him that much recognition for that.
That's true. Yeah, he was good. He was really good in Field of Dreams. Everybody associates it with Costner or Ray Liotta playing Shoeless Joe Jackson, that piece of shit who threw the World Series.
Are you believe that he did that?
Yeah, you don't?
I mean, didn't he hit like 400 in the World Series?
Yeah, he knew what he was doing.
He wanted everyone else to be bad. I'm not going to be bad, but you guys be bad.
Arnold Rothstein's the one that got in there and got those guys to throw the World Series. You can't have that. I can't be having the sport that I'm watching thinking it's on the up and up and then turning out it's not on the up and up.
And then you go and cheer for Shohei Ohtani, huh? You bet you're one of those guys. He's fixing. He's betting on his own games.
They probably
threw his translator under the bus.
Was just he had nothing to do with it.
I'm sure he had no idea where his money was going. Yeah, I'm sure he had no idea.
No clue.
Yeah, him and Jordan. Jordan had no idea either.
Yep.
I'm of the belief that conspiracy theory of Michael Jordan being banned for a year is true.
Yeah, you like that one?
Yeah.
Kicked him out because of all the gambling, and then he went and played baseball where he made the AA All-Star team for the Birmingham Barons.
Sure did.
Right. Francona.
That's right. How did we get here from James Earl Jones? I don't know.
You said you were correct when you pointed out he was a star of 2 great baseball films.
That's true.
Yeah,
I am right.
Sandlot and Field of Dreams.
I am right. I'm correct.
Yep. I'd love to play on that Field of Dreams field someday, just have
it does exist, right?
Yeah, they do. I think they made one like it. They made like a replica of it, and they play like a major league game once a year or a couple series or something.
Yeah, every few moons they do. Yeah,
smack the ball in the cornfield. I don't see why not. But James Earl Jones is what I wanted to bring up. He died. Wolfman. We got a trailer for Wolfman. This is the Lee Wannall film. I like Lee Wannall. He was one of the co-creators of Saw. He also directed Invisible Man, which
yes, he did.
Was really good. Came out a couple years. Actually, came out 2020, I believe, during the pandemic, right? And it was, when there weren't a lot of great movies, but that was one of the highlights of that year was Invisible Man. And now he's doing Wolfman. Trailer looked decent. I'm gonna give this. It comes out in January, actually. So oddly enough, it's not in time for Dorktober, but it will be out 4 months. So I'm in on this. I'm in on Wolfman.
I believe it's pronounced Wolfman. I think that's how you pronounce the name, Wolfman.
Wolfman.
No, I Lee Wannell, like the Invisible Man was great, and he was one of the guys who wrote Saw, the original Saw.
Yeah, he and James Wan. Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I hope it's not the costume we saw on Twitter.
Yeah,
there's like the sneak preview that didn't look great. No. So hopefully, but this looks pretty good.
It does.
You get like your dad. It's a little girl, and her dad is turning into a wolfman. Like that's pretty scary stuff.
It's harrowing.
Yes,
it's very harrowing. Ryan, Oktoberfest 2024 this weekend at Idle Hands, Stein hoisting 4:00 sharp. I will be there. Like I said last week, hoisting the Stein hosting competition, and looking forward to that. I'll be there sometime in the afternoon, and then friend of the podcast, Norris the Terrible, is going to be performing from 5 to 7. So there's going to be food, there's going to be drink, there's going to be competition, there's going to be music. What more do you want?
Good music, nothing. I want a pretzel with beer cheese, and I'm sure they'll have that there too.
Sold.
But I unfortunately cannot be there. My wife will be in New York City.
Oh my
New
God.
York City. But she will be there. So.
What you doing in New York City today?
She's taking a show. She's gonna go see a show.
Wow.
I know.
It's off Broadway, or
I think she's going to see Massachusetts own JoJo. Remember the pop artist JoJo?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she's in Moulin Rouge now, or Burlesque, one of those shows. Wow. I think Moulin Rouge. Then she's gonna go see that.
Dude, that Moulin Rouge music video.
Hey now.
Starring Maya and Christina Aguilera, Pink, and Missy.
Lil Kim. No, it was Lil Kim.
No, I think at the end though, wasn't it Missy?
Oh, yeah, Missy had. I think she produced it, but they had.
Okay.
What a crop.
Whew. They were wearing some negligee.
They certainly were.
Let's just say,
yes, they did.
Made a man out of me. Let's say that. Gross. But no, that was a good video. They don't make videos like that anymore, I don't think. Sadly.
Katy Perry's trying to, but she's looking a little desperate to me right now. She's like grasping at straws.
Did you hear what Katy Perry had to say recently?
I'm not. Yeah, about working with Dr. Luke or whatever.
No.
Oh, what'd she say now?
If Orlando Bloom cleans the kitchen, what that means for Orlando Bloom?
Oh, yeah. If it were only that easy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's not pretend like anyone cleans the kitchen in that house. They pay someone to do that.
Yeah, they could probably eat. I have no problem doing that. But apparently, as long as Legolas cleans a clean house, then
he gets his house cleaned.
Correct.
Yes.
Sexually. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Ryan, you got a video game minute for us?
A little bit, yeah.
It's time for Davey's video game minute. Even if it takes more than a minute.
All right.
So again, Black Myth Wukong is probably right now my favorite for like game of the year right now. I mean, this game is absolutely incredible. Such a cool story, such a good take on a classic story. You know, I love my mythology.
I know that to be very true. Wait for it.
Or even the Romans or Greeks.
This happily comes from the biggest myth of China, that being Journey to the West, which you haven't read that. It kind of takes place like after the events of Journey to the West, which is story makes sense. It makes sense eventually. But it was fantastic. Our NCAA college football dynasty rolls along. Big win for your Minnesota Golden Gophers over Rutgers. Big Ten opponent Rutgers. So that was beat them handily. They tried to run the ball on me and were unsuccessful the entire game.
Good.
So ended the game with a safety. How's your team doing?
So I'm glad you asked. It's very odd because I'm not sure what skill level I should be playing on, because I literally lost 1 week to Colorado.
Sure.
I famously fumbled with a chance to get the ball and score. I lost by 3 points to Colorado. So you're like, all right, we got to lick our wounds, come back the next week. We drew Air Force on the road, and we put up 84 points, and our quarterback threw an NCAA record 12 touchdown passes. And
it was airing it out.
It was like a score anytime you wanted. But I'm like, I just lost the week before.
Right.
Like, what the fuck? What end is up? I still haven't really figured out defense. I'm pretty comfortable on the offensive end, but defense is still just an absolute bitch for me. But I should be okay.
And the thing that's crazy to me, like I was like, all right, so we're playing on like I went on the level below us, and blew every team out. So I don't know how like the difficulty is a huge swing in this whole thing. So as we speak right now, I'm downloading Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2.
Oh, dude, I saw you tweet out that the video of it or the preview.
How fucking sick does that look?
Looks amazing.
Looks sick. It looks like a Gears game. And all the reviews are like, this game is sick. Like it's like a spiritual successor to like the Gears games and all that stuff. So the last story, I was reading this today. So apparently there's this 80s like new wave pop band called like Heaven 17. And the people from Rockstar Games, GTA 6, wanted to use one of their songs for their radio for the new GTA 6. And they offered them in perpetuity, so forever, for royalties in this game. However long we have this game out, we're going to play your song for years, $7,500. And the lead singer of Heaven 17 said, I have 3 words for you.
Fuck you.
It's basically, no, off. It was more fuck off. But like, so,
fuck off.
And like, but the exposure, like that's now I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound fart sniffing, but like as a person who works in the creative field, your exposure means shit unless you have like millions of followers. Your exposure means nothing to me.
No, I was going to say, well, so like, yeah, like if Kendall Jenner's like, hey, can I post your thing? But that's the thing, I guess. So like Grand Theft Auto is saying, well, hey, people can hear your song through our game. But then I think they also respond. They were like, well, your last game made over $8 billion. So like, we're happy to have the song on your thing, but like, it's probably worth more than $7,000.
Yeah. Like I think, or you can afford to pay me like royalties.
Right. Depending
on however many copies of the game sold, like you pay me like a flat rate for like every copy sold.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right. And it's Heaven 17. I'm sure like not a lot of people. I had to be reminded of what song they actually sang.
I don't know.
So for like, it's not like they couldn't use the money. I'm sure they're like, that would be nice.
That would be.
If you're like someone who had a minor hit and you're like, hey, we can offer you like $1 million for your song. And you're like, okay.
I'm like, yeah. So, oh, by the way, did you hear the new Linkin Park? So very controversial.
Controversial. Yeah.
Linkin Park has a new singer. So obviously, Chester Benningfield, sadly no longer with us. Bennington. What did I say?
Yeah, Benningfield, not Natasha Bedingfield, but
that's what I was thinking.
Chester Bennington. Yeah.
So one of the great frontmen of our time, and so we haven't seen much or heard much from Linkin Park, and all of a sudden they have a new vocalist, and it is a lady. She was in a band called Dead Sarah, who I'd never heard of, and so originally I heard her doing a couple songs of theirs, and I'm like, All right, it's like not bad. They're gonna have a new album out in November. They released a single this past week. I think it's awesome.
It's pretty decent.
I think
But
it's good.
the issue is, so Chester Bennington's son came out and is not pleased.
No, he's not.
The family's not pleased about this, and moreover, there's rumors that she is one of the Scientology crew who came out and defended Danny Masterson for all his terrible things.
So yeah, so she was trending for a bad reason last week, and so then then she came out, and whether you choose to believe her or not, she had this whole thing. Didn't say anything about the Scientology, but she did go. She's like, I did go. Like, I think she knew Danny Masterson and was like there in like court one of the days, and then claims that like once she found out what really was going on with that guy, she said like fuck you, and she hasn't talked to him since. That's what she says, so you can take her for her word for it. Like, I don't know, do you want to take her for her word, or do you want to take like some random person on Twitter? Like,
right,
I'll take her at her word for it. I'm sure Lincoln Park did a little bit of due diligence on it as well.
Yeah, you gotta vet people when you make a decision this big, right? But that's all to say, I'm with you. I think she sounded great. I watched like a concert with them they did like on YouTube and stuff, and it's she can hold her own. Like, and
she's good. And it sounds kind of like them, but like a different enough. So it's not like just like a copycat either. And I didn't read like the entire like beef with Chester's son. And I can understand him being very emotional about it. But I also feel like, so should the band just never go on? Like, was he mad that his dad was replaced by her, or just replaced in general?
I mean, a lot of band, you can do one of two things, right? You can soldier on and you can find a way to keep playing music together, maybe change your name.
I was gonna say, or just form the Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters, or I'm thinking like Audio Slave, or like like bands like these super groups that kind of happen. But like, or like you just fold it, or you just like find someone else and move on. Like, so if you similarly, Stone Temple Pilots is touring again, and their lead singer, same deal. Like, but that guy, he was on like The Voice or something, but he's good.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with it. Like, it's different. Like, there's a time, like, because we can go back and listen to the albums when the band, like the original band, was together. You can enjoy those. You can listen to those all the time. And then this can all, like, those other guys in the band should still be able to go on if people want to hear their music. And like, just based on this one song, like, I'm very interested in the new album.
And I will tell you right now, for the Dork listeners out there, and for Richard Keefe, you have my express oral permission, spoken permission, if something were to happen to me, that you can continue this podcast without me.
Really?
You have my permission.
The Prince of Ginger Ale could maybe replace the King of Ginger Ale.
Who knows? Who knows? It's funny. I took my daughter to her first concert on Friday. We went to Casey Musgraves.
Oh, nice. How was that?
It was actually like way better than I thought it was going to be. And she was just like wide-eyed the whole time. Like, didn't really understand. She's like, Dad, we saw 3 concerts for one. She didn't really get the concept of like opening acts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But
great.
She was like, wait a minute. So there's more concerts? So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
She was like, this is awesome. But then, do you know what she said in the car on the way home?
What's that?
Can I talk about this on the podcast? Can I come on the podcast and talk about this?
Yeah, of course.
I said, yeah. But not, maybe at some point. But
we'll record a little bit earlier. Yeah, well, a little bit earlier we'll record. Definitely can talk about it on the podcast. That'd be good.
I want to talk about it. Yeah.
Good.
Talk to Quinn Davey about her concert experience.
I love it.
The Duke of Juice.
Duke of Juice.
That's a good one. The Duke of Juice.
Duke of Juice joining us. Speaking of daughters, you want to hear the CC Keefe joke of the week?
Yes, I do.
All right. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A butt.
A butt who?
Vagina. Like, great. I go, don't say that at school, but good joke.
Hey, Rich, I heard you don't want to hear any more jokes about owls banging ghosts.
Why do you say that?
Boo fucking who?
Okay. All right.
No? But CC Keefe, not to step on CC Keefe's joke, that was way better than the joke I just told.
They're both good jokes. They're both like,
fantastic
they both should be used. But I was like, all right, let's just save that. Let's keep that as a home joke and not first day.
Go tell everybody. Scream it from the mountaintops.
All right, Ryan, I got an important question for you.
Y'all ready for bisque?
Vagina.
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the topic of the day. And today it is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, the feature film, the sequel to 1988's Beetlejuice. It was and is 1 hour and 44 minutes. Currently on Roddy T's, it's getting 76% approval by the critics, 82% by the audience. We begin as we do with all of our movie and TV reviews, spoiler free. Ryan, Beetlejuice, did you like it?
Yes, I did. Did you like it?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I liked it a decent amount. I thought it was fun. I went in, not expecting a ton, but I do like the characters. You know what I am? And I think I've probably mentioned this before during like Stranger Things episodes. I'm a massive Winona Ryder fan.
Is that right?
I love her. She's excellent. I think she's great in just about everything that she's in. She's in some good stuff going all the way back to like, Beetlejuice and like Heathers and like that stuff. And then like all the way up through. I don't think I can get enough Winona Ryder. I think she's fantastic.
And I think she's the blueprint for every teenage tween actress playing like the angsty teen.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do that successfully? Just watch anything Winona Ryder's in the 80s and 90s. Like, she just absolutely crushes it.
And it really is perfect casting to have Jenna Ortega play Winona Ryder's daughter.
Yes.
Like,
and
slam dunk.
And not to get into too much into it, but like they were fantastic together when they were on screen.
Yeah, they were. I think they got along really well. Like I saw some of these different interviews that they did, and like just Winona talking about her, and like the young actresses, like blah blah blah, and like they seem to get along quite a bit. What was your thoughts on the original? When did you see it? What did you think about it, etc.?
So I think the original came out when
88.
88. I think I saw it in the theater. If I'm not mistaken, I think I did see it in the theater. I saw it with my dad. I loved it, and I thought when you go with the nice fucking model to that point was probably the best delivered, funniest line I've ever heard in a movie to that point.
Yeah, that's funny.
So funny, and I would say the first scary movie, quote unquote, that like I actually really really enjoyed as a kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think it's a horror. It's more like a horror comedy kind of thing, but like definitely spooky adjacent. But like kind of like. One of the things that I think we've gotten away from, and I'm glad this is the sign that the earth is healing. When Tim Burton is just like allowed to just like whatever's in his brain, like just do that. I think that's when he's at his best. Like you have like these, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or like whatever bullshit remakes he's making, like that aren't very good. This is when he's at his best. Yeah,
I think you need like a Tim Burton movie, like a Tim Burton kind of original concept, like every couple of years. Like you need something to, you know what I mean? Like it's just fun. The first one legit scared the shit out of me. And like I've talked a lot about on the podcast that I didn't really get into horror movies until like high school because I was so scared. Like middle school, high school is when I started to watch them because I was so scared as a kid. And it wasn't like I wasn't allowed to watch them. I remember we had even this one, we had the tape of it and I couldn't do it. Like I remember starting it a few times and I don't know if it was like the music or what. I was scared of it. I was like legit scared to death of Beetlejuice as a kid. And like if you look at him, the makeup, the face, the hair, the suit, it's scary. And as like a kid, if you're not into it, which I wasn't, I didn't watch this until I was probably in high school, even though it was available to me since like I was 6 years old, Like I was terrified, but I do like it. Like I the original's fun as hell.
So another Tim Burton joint, I'm going to sympathize with you. So like until like 8th or 9th grade, like when the Large Marge scene came on in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, another Tim Burton joint, I would walk out of the room. I just like, I need a drink. Like
I agree. Why Pee-wee's was so scary? I do not know.
Yeah.
What do you got for favorite Tim Burton movie? So just to refresh the audience, let me just rip through the movies that he has directed. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman, Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Ed Wood, Mars Attacks, Sleepy Hollow, Planet of the Apes, Big Fish, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Corpse Bride, Sweeney Todd, Alice in Wonderland, Dark Shadows, Frankenweenie, Big Eyes, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, Dumbo, and this most latest Beetlejuice.
So I would say my favorite of so my favorite is probably Pee-wee's Big Adventure or Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, okay.
So I think the best movie he ever made was Ed Wood.
Dude, I love Ed Wood.
Ed Wood's great. And I know you're a big Mars Attacks fan.
Yes, I do like Mars Attacks. I like Ed Wood. I'm a big Sleepy Hollow fan. You know me, I like Christina Ricci quite a bit. Johnny Depp's in, I think, all of these movies. Johnny Depp had a good run. He and Burton had a really good run. That he had, because the Batman movies are fun too. So we talk a lot about Christopher Nolan, and I know these are different movies. David Fincher, Spielberg, and like the different runs directors have had. He went Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman, Scissorhands, Batman Returns, Ed Wood, Mars Attacks, Sleepy Hollow.
That's
all
a
in a
pretty
row.
good run.
And then even Planet of the Apes and Big Fish are good.
And before anybody says, he did not direct Nightmare Before Christmas. So before anybody says that,
good point.
He did not.
It's like Tim Burton Presents, which is fun. It's a good movie.
And he did all the design and stuff like that, but he didn't actually direct the movie.
How old were your daughters when you showed them that movie?
Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
Early. I think they were like 5 and 3 or like 6 and 4.
Because Cece wants to watch scary stuff. And so we watched.
It's the perfect gateway into like that and Coraline are like the two movies I would say that are like perfect entry level horror movie stuff.
All right. So we'll definitely do that this Dorktober. We watched Muppets Haunted Mansion last year, and we've already watched it again this year. She liked it. But yeah, so we'll do, because I was telling her how I watched the scary movie, which is actually the next topic du jour. And then she was like, I want to watch a scary movie. I was like, all right, let's see what we got. So I'll do Nightmare Before Christmas. I'll do that one coming up.
By far, Tim Burton's worst movie is Dumbo. I don't know if you saw.
Never saw it. Never saw Dumbo.
Awful.
Tip to tail piece of shit. I actually also enjoyed Sweeney Todd quite a bit.
Yeah, I thought Helena Bonham Carter was great.
Dude,
I like the design of that too.
Yeah, it looked good.
I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
Yeah, you're frozen. Frozen. I can hear you, but it looks like you're having a scratch. Looks like
I'm having a scratch on my shoulder. But as long as you can still hear me, that's all that really matters. I'll kick back in a second.
That's hilarious. That'd be the perfect shot for like Davey's joining us on the phone, and it's him just fucking scratching his shoulder.
Look like a goddamn ape.
Look at this fucking guy.
Yeah.
But hey, do you remember the Beetlejuice cartoon as a kid?
Absolutely.
How good was that show?
It was actually really good, and I forget who did it. What is going on with this camera?
I don't remember.
This looks
going in and out, but it
keeps I keep turning it off because I don't want to look at myself.
Oh, I find it hilarious that you're just having a scratch.
That's why I hate the look of my stupid fat face.
I can't look at this anymore.
Look at
this guy fucking having a scratch. Look, he's got the scratch.
I put it. Oh God, I put it in full screen. Now it's worse. It's terrible.
Let's see. Oh fuck, that's funny.
Please don't screen. I know you're just gonna like screen cap it.
I was gonna try to not only that, but just have you be the only one on the screen. People tune it in. You come for the Beetlejuice, but you stay for Davey scratches.
Davey scratches. Davey itch.
All right, what do you think of the story of Beetlejuice? Of course, this is one of many movies, whether it be comedy, horror, something in between. I feel like those two genres you get it more, but the sequel that takes place like 30 years after the original, we've had it a few times. But what did you think?
So here's the thing that I think is going to take it down a little bit for me. So the main story, like there's like a main, and then there's like 3 kind of side stories.
Yeah,
the main story is fantastic, and then it gets a little crowded. Like there's a lot of other storylines going on, and they all kind of like meet up at the end. But it seems in the middle, it's like very sloppy.
Yeah, and by no means did the movie drag, but you're just like you knew going in that it was less than 2 hours, and you're sitting there and you're like, they're gonna have to fucking get going here on a few of these. Like they had a lot of balls in the air, and you're like, how are they gonna do this?
Right.
Then they figured it out. The acting's fun. Like it's Catherine O'Hara, it's Michael Keaton, it's Winona Ryder, Jenna Ortega, as I mentioned, but it's also Willem Dafoe, who's perfect for a movie like this. A few other characters too.
Justin Theroux, is that how you say that?
Theroux, I think. Yeah,
he was good.
Yeah. He was good. He's let's see, who else? Who am I missing? Oh, Monica Bellucci. Very good.
Even Dead is fantastic.
Just is great.
And a nice little cameo in the beginning that we'll talk about, spoilers.
Yes. Yeah, so that was all that was fun. All right, would you refer to this as a must-see film?
Yeah, I think this is like Halloween movies. Like if you're gonna watch something new, I would definitely recommend this. And I hope there's a third because we need Beetlejuice, right?
Oh my god,
I know I'm tempting fate here. It's like Candyman. Looking behind me.
Yeah, at this point, if the sequel's called Beetlejuice, I feel like it's inevitable. We have to get a third Beetlejuice. Yeah, so I think it's right on that cusp of a must-see. If you're kind of like, all right, it's tough with football season, trying to get out and 2 hours while you're also watching all this other stuff. As soon as it is available on demand or whatever, watch it. But yeah, it's good. I had a fun time. Your hashtag dork score for Beetlejuice.
I feel bad. I'm going to give it a 4.5. That feels right to me. I think the 76, giving it I would give it like a B minus. But it's the 76 it's close.
82, somewhere in there.
82. I would like an 82 is like the score I would go with. Yeah, we're doing it out of 100.
I'm gonna go 4.5 because we of course are doing it out of a 6. I'm gonna go 4.5 as well because I was like right after I watched it, like walking out of the theater, you're like that might have been a 5, and then you're like,
yeah.
All right, like I don't know if it belongs in the same tier as some of the other 5. So I'll give it a strong 4.5. It was fun. It's worth watching. I don't think it's going to compete for movie of the year, but it's not like way off either. So let us know in the chat what you guys thought of Beetlejuice, what your dork score was. If you have any comments on it, hit us up dorkpodcast@gmail.com on the email. You can also hit us up Twitter and Instagram as well @dork podcast. Anything else spoiler free before we get to spoilers? All right, that's very good. Let's get to this.
Spoilers! Here come the spoilers!
All right, so we talked about this going into the movie. So Jeffrey Jones, who played the father of Lydia Dietz in the original, is a bad guy. The real life actor is a bad guy, piece of shit guy. He's alive, but he's like the only one from like that. Like they didn't bring him back clearly because is he in jail?
No, but he's he's on the registry, and my wife, it was funny, like because we were talking, is is he dead?
Mm-mm.
And I said something really mean.
Okay,
I thought I'm sure he wishes he was. Some days, but yeah, I thought that was a great little head fake. I like how they incorporated him, but not really.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. So like they kill off the character. Like so part of the plot is that like he's dead. But then they also show like a flashback and it's like animated, right? Like so like they don't it kind of like it looks like him, but it's like all right, he's not like we're not going to bring him in. We're not paying this guy shit. He's not going to be a part of this. But we're not going to like ignore the fact that we're bringing this whole family back from so many years later. So they had to address it. And I guess this is probably the best way to do it. Like you kill
I guess so. But with claymation is the best way to kill somebody off.
So you had mentioned there was like a lot of different stories, and that is true. Like there was a lot going on, and I feel like the one that kind of got lost in the shuffle and then it ended up getting kind of like smashed in at the end. It felt a little bit like rushed. Like the final like 15 minutes felt a little bit rushed. But like the whole story with Beetlejuice's like ex-wife, Monica Bellucci, like she's coming in, she's a house of horror, but it's like, all right, we got something else going on. Like I like the Jenna Ortega meeting that kid who's dead. Like that's cool. Like, that's a good storyline. And then like Lydia Dietz coming in to save it. But then you also have Lydia Dietz's potential marriage to Justin Theroux coming on. You have Beetlejuice's old relationship and all kind of coming to a head. It did seem like they threw a lot of stuff at this.
But again, I did like the little cameo by Danny DeVito as the janitor.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was good. But like you said, I feel like that was kind of an afterthought. Like why is, and again, they never really explained why, other than she was like a soul sucker. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a thing, and just like kept moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that.
I don't think it really landed that well for me.
No, that part didn't. It was cool seeing her staple herself together. Like all her body parts were like all different bags, and she like wakes up and like staples herself together. And then she's going out to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is funny again. Like Michael Keaton's great. Like what a great character. And it's amazing that the last time he played that character was so freaking long ago. What, 36 years or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's crazy.
and like slipped right back into it and was like funny, like the voice, the one-liners, just the look, like
the physicality of it too. Like he was still agile. He's in his 70s and he was still like
awesome.
Moving and grooving, which is great. And so the Davey girls were very upset, and they made sure that I mentioned that they did not see any reason for Bob to die, and they were very pissed off that Bob died.
Bob's very popular. Bob's a good character. Doesn't say a lot. Doesn't say, he's quiet.
Yep.
But I do like Bob. The whole like death waiting room thing. Oh, so they did miss an opportunity, because at the end of the original, isn't Beetlejuice like waiting?
And I remember saying that to you when we was like, what do you want to see? It's like, I want to see his number get called, because he's been waiting there for 36 years.
Didn't happen.
No,
they didn't go that route. I love the idea that Lydia Dietz is grown up and she hosts this show, and like she sees ghosts, because she legit could see ghosts.
Right.
She saw Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis back in the day. And so the fact that she could still do that, and then it becomes a show, but her daughter doesn't really believe her, and it's a whole thing. That's good. The like Winona or Lydia Dietz's, I guess, like ex-husband or like dead husband, that was all like another storyline they kind of like threw in there. The movie was busy.
It was very busy, but I did appreciate that they had like these tender moments with him, where like he's talking to them, and obviously like they were divorced, so the family's like back together essentially for the first time, and there's these really tender moments, and you could hear like the fish like flapping and like chewing on him.
Yep, that's
the whole time he's like giving his daughter a hug, and you hear like and like you still like hear like the fish flapping. I thought that was really funny.
That's good. No, but I did love the idea, and like when so Jenna Ortega's character like crashes into a tree and sees a dude, and you assume it's a real dude, and then like no, he's actually a ghost. She has the same power as her mom, or power, or whatever you want to call it, as her mom does. And then so even when Lydia Dietz drops her off and she sees him, she doesn't know that it's a ghost, because she also can just see him like kind of regular. But then like that sort of right to the like, yeah, he lives there, he can't leave there, and he killed his parents. Like, oh, he's a fucking like bad dude, this guy.
Another bad guy.
And then they go in there, he's got the book again, and he goes into like death's waiting room and that whole thing. So I thought, that was like was that the storyline you're talking about? Like that was the good one. Like that was
the good one. And I like those two stories of like I wanted to get into more like Lydia Dietz's show, like why she and like other things that she did, or like why she's doing those things, because just like they just kind of mention it, and then she's like, "Oh, I do this show," and then she never did. Then she quits.
Yeah,
it didn't seem that like fleshed out.
And like Justin Theroux's character, like little fucking like he's got like a little man bun back there,
little ponytail.
Like, he's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit, but it does seem like it was kind of dragging it along, and then at the very end, Beetlejuice hits him with like the truth serum.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I fucking hate you. And like, I just was taking your money. And you're like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah. Like, okay. We all knew that.
Yeah. It was like a little obvious that he was going to be a piece of shit. And he obviously was. Derpy Entertainment in the Twitch chat, or YouTube chat. I say Twitch chat from the radio show, but the YouTube chat. One word to describe the film was fun. This film was just as over the top as the original film. There were unnecessary characters, and it dragged a little bit, but overall a worthy sequel to the original film. I kind of agree completely. Like it's not perfect by any means, but because this is definitely in that comedy world. And how many times is it a comedy sequel, whether it be Dumb and Dumber or Super Troopers or whatever, that was so many years later, and movies that we liked even more than the original of this one, and just were duds, just like were a complete letdown. Whereas this wasn't. This probably isn't as good as the original, but it's not like way off from it either.
No, and one of the things that I really did appreciate, and again, it like felt like the original, were the practical effects. Like it's very, very little CGI. And I loved that, like I call them the Bobs, but like one of them was Bob, and they all had like the shrunken head guys who were working for Beetlejuice. Like those were clearly like just like stupid costumes that they like slapped together. The sandworms didn't look any better than they did in 1988. They looked the exact same. I thought, that was just pretty awesome.
Snakes out there this big.
They're pretty big.
They're big snakes.
Yeah.
They're big snakes kind of rolling around.
But when the Bobs start running, when the really blows the whole thing, they just like
they just all take off.
Like, yeah.
Willem Dafoe was really good. He's perfect for this world where he's like the cop, but he's really like an actor. He's like who played a cop, and he's in all these movies, and he's like explaining the movies to everybody. Like that was good.
You know what I love, and it's like such a subtle thing, but it makes me laugh every time when someone comes out of a door and like does a somersault and then pops up like right in front of the screen. Like I don't know why I think that's funny. Like I love that gag. Like he came out of like the tomb and like rolled and he just like popped up like right in front of the camera.
That's like that feels like an Arrested Development type of gag.
Or like like a Three Stooges kind of thing.
Yeah, that's probably more originally. Catherine O'Hara is good because she's good in everything all the time, but
she's never been bad in anything.
No, but the whole thing about the snakes, and she's like, I had them like defanged or whatever. It's like, no, they fucking killed her. Like now the snakes got her. Like she had this whole like ritual planned.
But I also love her going down there and like saying she knows people. Like she doesn't have to wait in line.
It's great.
Yeah, I thought that was great.
So you got Beetlejuice. Davey and I both giving this sucker 4.5. Worthy film to go check out. Also, September is a pretty light month for movies, and I think this was already like the second best September opening ever. I think it's like one of the. A lot of people saw it. It had a good box office. So finally, hopefully, a movie other than Deadpool is going to be number one at the box office. Yeah, right. Exactly. That movie's doing pretty well. Anyway, that's what we think about Beetlejuice. Let us know what you guys think about it, and if you're watching on the YouTube, jump on over to the other link. We are going to be starting our second episode here shortly, talking Oddity. So if you're listening on the podcast, that may be available right now, or just wait a day, depending on how quickly you jump aboard this bad boy. We're going to talk a Irish horror movie that is on demand right now called Oddity. But in the meantime, let us know what you guys think of Beetlejuice. And Davey promised me 1,000,000 times you'll never do another rule.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to promise you that.